Hey kids, I'll ask you a question. What is the most significant part of the first-person shooter games?
Multiplayer!
No, that's not on the script.
金のこと?
That's right, guns! Guns in shooters always play a significant part. How satisfying to use them, and how they look, sound, and usability gives a significant impression about the games. In specific cases, the gun itself's quality could determine the game's reception entirely. So let's stop fapping at the first introduction and start talking about the philosophy of CryBullets gun design. When I started making this game, after deciding on the art style, I started working on guns first. While I was working on those weapons, I personally found some important 3 rules for what I think is a good gun to design the gun. That is what I'd like to call 3 Gs. First, guns need to look original. Second, guns need to be satisfying just by firing them on empty air. Third, guns need to be easy to understand each gun's unique roles and elements to the player. Let's start with the first one. Guns need to look original. As I said in the past, when someone sees a screenshot or video footage of the game, it gives a significant first impression of the game. Guns in FPS, of course, have a significant impact too, because they occupy the majority of screens, both screen time and screen spaces. And I believe making gun look original, colorful, and most importantly, memorable, rather than using the design of the dull, generic real-life gun, gives an edge in this competitive market. I mean, come on! Take an example. How many games feature an armory called AK-47 and its subform? Metro 2033, Atomic Heart, Counter-Strike, Vertigo 2, Spec Ops The Line, Hotline Miami 2, Ultra, 50 Cent Blood on the Sand, and whatever the heck is a blue archive thing. You get the point? There's an AK everywhere. But while trying to make guns original, it's not all completely designed from the ground up. The design of guns in my games are partially taken from other real-life guns. For example, Crystal Pistol's design takes inspiration from Desert Eagle, and Crystal Shotgun's design is from Lucien Revolver Shotgun MTS-255 and the Italian semi-auto shotgun Benelli M4. Still, it's just another corner cutting to save time. It's not easy to come up with the design from scratch, after all. Let's move to the next one. Guns need to be satisfying just by firing them on empty air. In the world of game design, there's a word called core gameplay loop. The meaning of this word is what the player does in the game at the moment-to-moment level. For example, in action shooter games like Quake, shoot the enemies and avoid gunshots. In hack and slash games like God of War 4, attacking the enemies with the melee weapons, avoid the enemy's attack by dodging and parrying. At the basics level, you can improve the core gameplay loop from bit by bit with nice satisfying sound effects and animation of characters, guns, and perhaps anything that appears in sight. Of course, it's not all about basics at all. Elements such as unique gameplay mechanics, map design, pacing, and game balance are also essential to keep gameplay fun and engaging. Of course, I'm not neglecting those elements in my game. But if games fail to offer strong basics, no matter how unique the mechanics are, it is transparent that the game gonna fall apart when judging the games by fun. Without the strong basics, making gameplay fun is like building a tower without the strong curve, or rather trying to understand quadratic function without the knowledge of modification. In CryBullets, I designed the sound of guns by combining multiple fully stock sound effects on the internet and the record of model guns lying around in my house to make a unique, satisfying sound. As for the animation, I created an animation by separating the parts of gun, hand, and crystal and moving each of the parts depending on the scene. And some pseudo motion blurs on animation as well because I prefer it this way. Also, I designed the majority of particles, bullet trays, muzzle flashes, and dynamic lights. All of those particles are also some of the key factors that determine the feel of the guns. Of course, those amounts of the effects need to not overshadow the other thing in games like enemy voices and mapped terrain. They need to be conspicuous while simultaneously not causing dissonance with other effects. And so, here is the game's current state's result. By the way, I'm combining not just sound effects from English stock sounds websites, but Japanese stock sounds websites. So I think that gives another touch on the original film. And that's the advantage of being a bilingual person, baby! And lastly, guns need to be easy to understand each gun's unique laws and elements to the player. The great thing about shooter, especially in boomer shooters that let you carry multiple weapons, lets your player to use appropriate arsenal for many different situations to give another layer of challenge. For example, a shotgun for close range enemy, SMG for hordes of enemy, and a pistol for the weak tiny enemy. But some games tend to have multiple guns that overlap those. I mean, what is the difference between an SMG and assault rifle? Furthermore, some games' gun shares ammo type for different guns serves a different work, like Half-Life 1's Glock and MP5, and the original Doom's Beretta and chain gun. Maybe this isn't a problem if you're a gun nerd, but not everyone is a nerd who knows the difference between, say, a 9mm bullet and a 50 cal bullet, really. So, I put distinct colors to each 4 guns. Red on pistol, blue on SMG, green on shotgun, yellow on crossbow, to clarify what crystal, i.e. ammo type, each gun gonna use, and what capability have. Red for fire strong types, blue for cold rapid fire type, green for spreads and poison type, yellow for very high impact and all that. Also, I decided to have only 4 guns in games, 5 if you included a magical pickaxe, instead of having a ridiculous amount of guns and weapons to make the game a huge mess. I'm focused on a few guns and emphasize each gun's strengths, distincts, and enough to encourage players to use them all. Plus, this design decision made it much easier to choose what gun to have in a critical situation. And to overcome the lack of varieties in gun, I'm experimenting having an unlockable outfire mode. That pistol could be used as a flamethrower, SMG do a grenade launcher as well. As for the additional effect, this outfire mode takes up extra ammo than primary fire, but crystallize the enemies without the enemy being in special state, and oh boy, I could keep dreaming about the plans I have for my game. So this is all about my design philosophy of a gun. It's not perfect on all sides. Some of my friends criticize the first-person view's gun angle, the reload animations too strong blurs, again, etc. They aren't a very high priority right now, probably part of the thing I'm gonna fix at the final polish. Hey, at least I'm sure that no sweaty gun nerd's gonna nitpicking about my gun's real-life accuracy. I think I should have talked about this in previous developer dialogues afterward, but I'd like to use this opportunity to express appreciation to Ospaggi for showing interest in my game and composing the music for my game for free. His works are promoted in this Dev Diary series in Toro and Autolo as well. And also, thank you Vika for composing the first trailer's music. Without her work, I couldn't make the trailer in the first place. Thank you. Thank you for everyone.